Welcome back to Players Only. Now, Andrew Wiggins, he has 24 points. He's 8 for 15. He's going ham out there. And Paul George, 18 points, 6 for 12. And when you think about Paul George, his last 16 games, he's averaged, let's just call it 32, 31.8, 49% field goal shooting. 43 from threes. He is hot, but when we talk about this OKC team, their coach has been fired. The team could be in disarray, but we know one thing, the constant has to be Karl Anthony Towns. And it seems like he's coming out with a little bit of energy, doing those little things, those dirty things, K-Mac, that you love seeing big fellas do.
Yeah, they were up 10 when he was playing, and then he got in foul trouble, got his third foul. He only played 9 minutes in the first half. I like when he puts his head down and goes to the basket. I just think sometimes he'll settle. Right here, you always don't have to be in great, he's in great position up for an offensive rebound, but he works for it. He bodies the guy, gets it, puts it back up, and gets an N1. Now you're going to see a little out-of-bounds play, nice play drawn up by Ryan, but he just gets it and goes right to the rim. There's no hesitation. And I think when Karl Anthony Towns is attacking the rim, he's getting to the line and putting a lot of pressure on the defense, and that's the best version of the cat. I know all the analytics people say, oh, he's got to take more threes. Screw those threes, man. Yeah. Get that ball in the paint, and be effective. And he's really, I like the way he's playing right now, but he's got to stay on the floor.
Zeke, and on the other end, Westbrook, you look at his stats tonight, 4 turnovers, 3 for 10, 0 for 3 from the three-point line. But just for our fans out there, this year he leads the NBA in steals and assists per game. And if you remember a little while ago, he said, I can do everything, pass, shoot, dribble. What do you see that you like of his game or don't like of his game tonight?
Well, the thing that I like that I'm seeing about him is that he's not worried about, his field goal percentage, or really scoring. And even though we're going to see him taking the mid-range jumper here, which he's so efficient at doing, and also driving to the basket, once he makes the mid-range, it opens up the drive. And you like to see a player rewarded of his stature, even when he makes a mistake, right? Somebody is there to help and assist him. Westbrook sets the tone, he sets the tempo. With his energy, with his force, with his stamina every single night. So he's got 9 assists already. And when you got 9 assists and you dishing and moving the ball around, that means everybody else is eating, everybody else is feeling good, and we know he can come back and get his. So I love what he's done thus far the first half.
Let me ask you something, Zeke, because Westbrook is a heavily criticized player. MVP, people say you can't play with him. Other players may get a pass. He plays so hard every night. When you look at a guy that plays this hard, so efficient in many areas, maybe in other areas not as efficient, why do you think he gets the criticism? Is it just because of his game? Is it because of how he looks, how angry he looks? Is it because of how he attacks the basket, how fast he plays? But I'm trying to find, what really is the criticism? Because like you said, he has 4 turnovers tonight, but still has 9 assists, still leading the league, out-rebounding big fellas. What is the knock?
I think, Chris, he's at that stage where a lot of players get to, where they've had great success in the league, and then it's like, okay, now you got to win. Mm-hmm. I need to see you win it all. Okay, you're the MVP, and Harden's in the same situation. You're the MVP, you play good, you get numbers. I've seen all that. Regular season's great, so forth and so on. Now you've gotten to the point where you've separated yourself from the pack. So you're not measured with the pack anymore.
Right.
Now you start getting measured with the champions.
That's right.
Okay, can you put a ring on your finger?
Right.
And can he get to that next level of being a champion and winning the championship? And that's where the criticism comes in for he and also Harden right now.
Other players
because now it's like, okay, now you got to get there. I'm not impressed by the regular season. That don't make me excited no more. And I got to see you in the playoffs.
And the thing I like about Russell right now, he's 3 for 10, okay? His shot hasn't been going in. He stopped shooting. He defers. Like he'll let Paul get off. He kind of knows that when you shoot and your shot's kind of funky, you shoot 4 or 5 shots, you're like, I don't know if I got that tonight. Plan B. And he's the 9 assists at halftime, So I like the fact that he's deferring, and he's going to win a championship, if he does win a championship, with the right players around him and him deferring. Because there's going to be some games where it's just not going, but he's going to find other people. He's talented enough to affect the game in so many different ways. So you're right. His criticism comes from his team doesn't win enough, and he's done everything else.
That's good that you broke it down like that, because sometimes you think it's personal, and the way that you put it, it is personal, because you want to be personally regarded as one of the best with these guys, and that just means let it brush off your back and win some games and show us what you're going to do.
You got to keep moving up the ladder.
Yeah.
You can't stop right here.
Yeah.
You got to keep moving.
Yeah, and moving up the ladder. This man wants to move up the ladder. That's right. That's Mike's brother. That's right, Kyle Lowry. You know who it is. Get it, bad boys. Players only. You know, guys, you guys are champions, and I always remember when I was younger, being in certain places and playing, I remember thinking to myself, these are years that you'll never get back. We have no chance to win a championship this year in Washington. We won 14 games. These are years you never get back. What if years you're young? Him being a young leader right now, for these not to be wasted years, because it doesn't seem like he'll win a championship this year or next year, and history will judge him for that. But what would you say right now, Kevin, if you had his ear, how would you point him in the right direction, or the continued right direction, to finish with a great career regardless of the rings? Because you're never guaranteed that. Right. You're only guaranteed your work ethic. How would you talk to him about the position he's in now and how it can go either way and how he needs to make the most of this?
The NBA is a unique game, and once you kind of figure it out, there's a lot of different ways you can play to help that team win games. He's got to figure out all the different ways that he puts up numbers. That dude can put up numbers. That's over. Yeah. Zeke, we've had this conversation a million times. It's easier to put up numbers than it is go collect wins. Winning is hard in this league. There's a million different ways to do it. You get the vibe of the game going. All of a sudden, your teammates got to roll, and you find a way to get him extra 3-4 shots. Dribble handoff. You know, you bring the ball over to the hot guy. You defensively take the other team's top guy and say, you know what, I'm shutting this cat down. Mm-hmm. This guy's got it going. I can shut this guy down. All right, man, hey, we're missing a lot of shots. I'm going the offensive glass. I'm going to clean that glass up. I'm getting 5 or 6 offensive rebounds, 4 putbacks tonight. There's a million different ways to help your team win this game. He's got to figure them all out, and they all don't come up on the stat sheet. And that's what always irritates me. So many people nowadays, the analytics, what's the first thing they do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he had this, and this. Yeah. But there's winning plays all over to be made. And once you kind of understand that, I remember I was playing as a rookie, middle of the third quarter, and the vets came over and said, man, hey, look at these next 2 minutes. We put this game away. I'm like, huh? You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I don't know any better. And after the game, I went up to ML Carr, and I said, he goes, oh, they were on tilt. You could just see them. Yeah. And we're up 10. Yeah. And we outscored them these next 2-3 minutes, 8-0. We're up 18. They're just ready to give up. Yeah. And I realized when I started understanding the game, I could see teams when they were on tilt, and I got that feel for, okay, this is when we push. Yeah. 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Forget the last 2 minutes. We do it now. Yeah. Yeah. And when you get that sense of we can win this game now, and you do it, it's fun, man, because you start getting a vibe that you can control a lot of stuff that happens on the floor.
You were a leader both at Indiana and again in the NBA. When it was up on you, you come into the Pistons young, you get criticized for scoring and assists. It's a new game that's coming and everyone doesn't understand. Did you have to say to Joe later on, I need you to do this with me? And I know we can all watch this with the Bad Boys and Splash Brothers, NBA TV players only, baby. But what was your thought as a leader when you didn't know you were going to be one of the greatest of all time, when you didn't know how good a team could be to win?
I didn't know that I would end up having the NBA career that I end up having, but I knew we were going to win a championship. I mean, I knew that from day one. And not only did I know that from day one, but this is how we're going to plan and this is how we're going to do it. There's going to be a lot of studying involved. So I had to go to school, right? Had to go study the Celtics, had to go study the Lakers. And what I learned, then you come back, this is how they practice, this is what they do, this is how we got to imitate. We would get knocked out, in April. These guys were playing till May and June. No, we're not going home. We got practice tomorrow at 11. Chuck, everybody else can go home, but the players, we're going to continue to practice. We're going to continue to get better.
Get used to this time frame.
You got to get used to the time frame, and then you got to work on getting back. But there's an intensity and there's a passion, and then there's hey, you can't leave. I know you got plans with your girlfriend or with your wife, but Joe, you can't leave. I need you to stay here, right? And Joe would make the sacrifice. He would stay. Lambeer was always, I got to leave for a couple of weeks, but I'm coming back. And then, as you know, Chris, when y'all got back in the fall, right, we would come down there and be playing with y'all. So,
Yeah,
so when the
some of these, they say.
Fab Five when y'all started playing in Ann Arbor, right? Our whole team, we would come down there, scrimmage, practice, and play against y'all. So that's the type of commitment. So it wasn't about me getting better; it was about our team. And I knew our team one day was going to win the championship, and you had to stay committed to that.
I could sit here and listen for hours, Zeke. You know, I already love it. Hey, you already kicked game with Steph, and it's appreciated to listen to you guys talk about this. But when we come back, speaking of Steph, we're going to get some more game from Steph. Splash Brothers, that's right. They talk to the bad boys. Steph, you know he's already in the top 5 of threes all time.
Already.
Shoot it!
What's up, basketball fans? It's your boy 3D. We're back for another edition of Shooter's Paradise. But this time we're going to take you a little deep on preparation before the game. Now, obviously, you know who this guy is, MVP, Mr. Steph Curry.
Yes, sir.
Steph, people don't understand that you just don't wake up and just start jacking up shots. There is a method to your madness. So what is the first thing you try to do to find your rhythm?
First thing I do is start in the paint, and I do a bunch of just crazy flip shots. It helps me just get a feel for the ball, get my body warmed up, and your hand-eye coordination in terms of like your finesse game and that touch, which is key for me to be able to shoot the way that I do. I try to start in close, see the ball go in, try different angles, and then work my way out from there.
For us real shooters, explain how you have to start in close and work your way out.
You get to see the ball go in and build your confidence up early. And that's also just a touch thing. Starting in close, you can really feel the ball in your hands, you get your rhythm going, and then you work your way out from there. I treat 5 spots around the court and try to just get every possible shot that I would probably take in a game. A lot of them are more just stationary, catch and shoot, kind of your normal basic fundamentals, working on your mechanics. But then you got to test your creativity a little bit. And obviously, like simulating a game where every possession, you don't know what the move's going to be. But you got to be able to react to the defender, take what they're giving you, make a play. So just feeling that ball transfer from hand to hand, simulating the defender, trying to swipe at it and stuff, and then getting balanced and knocking down the shot. So it's a balance between the creative part of my game and the fundamentals and good mechanics that every great shooter kind of taps into.
How much fun is it for you, though, that where you have that freedom when you can give the ball to KD or Iggy or Draymond and you just can just run all over the floor?
Back from when I was even playing in high school, I was playing for traditional point guards, had the ball in my hands a lot. When I got to college, I was playing off the ball a lot, so I got to work on both parts of it. So I feel like, being able to shoot off the dribble or catch and shoot or be able to give it up and sprint miles around the court, make my defender chase me, but still be in balance and knock down shots is a big part of my game.
And so in the fourth quarter, are you taking what the defense gives you, or are you taking what the team needs to win the ball game?
That's where the full skill set that you got in the arsenal comes out, because you got to get it all sorts of ways, whether it's driving to the basket and finishing, mid-range, off the dribble, or if you got to take a dagger 3, you got to be ready for all those. There aren't many weaknesses, and that's the part where all that work that you put in pays off.
How did the tunnel shot come about? And we as shooters want to understand, if you make that shot, does it make you think I'm going to have a good game, or does it not affect you at all?
I feel better walking into the locker room after a make. But I've had some of my best games when I've missed the shot, too. So it started probably my second year in the league, where I had a bet with one of our front office guys, and he was just looking at the time like, I bet you can't make it from there. At the time, I had seen Monte Ellis make it a couple of times, so I can make it and try it. And we started to just keep tally every game, how many times I made versus missed, and at the end of the year, we tally it up and see who won. And it just evolved from there with the usher, who throws me the ball.
You make the pass every time? Curtis
passed me the ball every time, so we got a nice little chemistry.
The billion-dollar question. With the new arena, how will the tunnel shot affect your preparation for a game?
I have no idea. It's a tough question, because for 10 years I've been accustomed to my routine, shooting the tunnel shot right before I go back to the locker room. So I'll get a lay of the land when we get to the new Chase Center and really understand how I can dial up my warm-up routine and have some fun with it, but to be determined.
Yeah.
That's right, so check it out. 5, he's tied Jason Terry. What up, Jet? 6, he's in number 3 all by himself. I know Reggie, Miller, and Ray. Don't get me wrong, Steph to me is the best shooter of all time, but I know Reggie and Ray are going, I wish I could shoot 15 24, 33s in my time. Because it seemed like Reggie
Without
only got to
being
shoot
held.
like 5 or 6, maybe at the most.
Without being held.
Yeah.
I mean,
on the fast break.
Yeah,
One on
That's the
5.
key. Here's the key I'll tell you right now. Because they were telling me the story when Larry Brown went to Indiana. Larry Brown did not want Reggie shooting threes in the break.
Right.
So Reggie would come down and, Reggie's open, wide open. He's shooting that three. Larry Brown would sit him down. Like, even in the first quarter, he'd be like, yeah, come sit by me. How different the league is now.
Yeah.
Just think if Reggie had the green light to shoot it in the break with 22 seconds on the shot clock.
If he played for Houston, he'll sit down now for not taking the shot.
Exactly,
you
yeah.
know, they definitely do.
So it's changed so much,
Yeah.
And you look at that like Steph Curry. Tonight he could pass Jet. He's 5 behind Jet. It's nothing for anymore. Like when a guy made 5 threes, think back when we played. If a dude made 5 threes, you were like, 5 threes?
Man. He took 5 threes.
Exactly. How many do you take to make 5 threes? Nowadays, I don't even look twice if Steph. Steph has a 5 for 12 from the 3-point line. It's just average night.
But I heard Klay Thompson say something last week that I thought was just brilliant. He was talking about his shooting slump, and he said, "Hey, look, if it ain't Larry Bird who's calling me to give me advice, or Ray Allen, or Reggie Miller,
right.
or maybe Steph,
You ain't got nothing to
nobody
say.
else, you ain't got nothing to say to me.
You're not in this.
You can't get in this conversation." I thought that was brilliant.
You're not in this club. And last week, how about this? I don't know if the stat is still true, but last week we were doing the game there, and Marv told me, and it was so funny, the number 1 3-point shooting percentage in the league is a Curry, but it's not Seth.
Yeah.
It's not Steph. It's Seth. So
Wow.
they had a whole family. And I think, too, if it was in the backyard, a game of 21 on, family reunion, I think that Dad would win the
I'm
contest.
still going with Dale.
Yeah. I'm going-
That Dale can shoot. But here's the funny thing. I'm looking at the same stat sheet, and I see Curry at the top. And I see Curry like at 5th. I'm thinking, how many Currys are there?
Yeah, he's that good.
His brother was at the top.
He can get twice in there. We're going to break. When we come back, we're coming back with that man from OKC. That's right, Westbrook. And his sidekick, PG-13. Players only, baby.